Yeah, so Logic. I want to preface this by saying I've listened to some Logic singles before, mostly when I'm hanging out with you and you play Logic, and I'm like, yeah, he's pretty good. I'd never like search him out to listen to him, so I want to preface it with that. This was an interesting album to jump into with Logic.
Definitely.
Put it that way.
It's like jumping into Blank Face LP as your first Schoolboy Q album. It's just
a
little too dense.
Yeah, I was like immediately just kind of thrown off with how like the first song Hallelujah goes from being like a rap song to all of a sudden he's dead and talking with Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's God. So it was very strange.
Yeah.
But I guess like moving forward, as someone that has been following Logic, is a big fan of him, what were you expecting from this album?
Yeah, that's a good question. So his last album, which came out in the fall of 2015, The Incredible True Story, was my favorite Logic project. It was his second album, and he's had a bunch of mixtapes before that. And the reason I liked it so much was because it was a really cool concept album. It was had some sci-fi things about like traveling in the future, and Logic he talked about how he wrote like a whole like transcript or movie script for like the theme of this album, right? But it was really thought out. He had his goals, and there was kind of like cool interlude scenes where like there was like talking like skits basically towards the end of songs or the beginning of songs. And it kind of like kept his narrative going. But the important thing was The Incredible True Story had individual songs that you could just latch onto and play and enjoy. Some of them are singles, some of them weren't. And I think I wanted everybody, this new album, to kind of have be in the same boat where I know he's going to have a concept album, but I want there to be songs I can pick out and play, like Kendrick Lamar with DNA, or Element, or Humble, or Loyalty.
Yeah.
There's
or any song off of the Kendrick
exactly.
Lamar album.
Problem with Logic and Joey Badass, same thing. He has other great songs you can pick out of his incredibly conceptual album. Logic, this new album, unfortunately, despite its great intentions, does not have that many songs I want to listen to again.
No, I mean, probably everybody is, and that was the first single, right?
And again, that's the other problem where the best song is the first song you dropped.
Yeah, everybody's definitely the most listenable song. And I think it's not that any of his raps were bad. It's not. I thought a lot of the beats were very complex, but also
I think it's got
awesome.
great instrumental choices, whether they're strings, horns. Great ear for that. Yeah.
But just in the way it was constructed, and like the way that they were basically saying this is going to be a statement as a whole instead of just like each song is going to tell like its own kind of story, just makes it the kind of thing where you can't just jump into it.
Yeah.
And that made it a little hard to get through, not gonna lie.
Oh no.
I skipped through a couple of songs when it started getting a little long. Like these are long songs, 6-minute rap songs. Really long.
It's a 70-minute album with only 12, 13 songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, long songs for sure. But yeah, like you said, like I think at its worst, it's preachy. But I think my major problem with his concept is Kendrick. That's a really personal album about race and stuff. Joey Badass. That's a really big picture album about race and stuff.
Right.
You know,
macro, micro.
Yeah, contemporary events, things like that. Right. Trump, etc. They're not throwing out solutions, but at least they have a scope. Logic's scope is so fucking broad on this that it's like, let's be good to each other. Diversity's good. He doesn't say anything on this album. Like, be good to each other. Like,
he talks about how hard it is for him.
Don't like walk in someone else's shoes before you prejudice someone. It's like it's just preaching. And like, yes, I know you're biracial. I've talked about this before, and even back to his mixtape days, he's brought his personal life experience into his music excellently. But on this, it just seems like he just has such a basic concept, and it's well intentioned.
Right.
It's still a good message. But I just don't think it's deep enough to hit, especially when there's not that many songs I want to hear again.
Yeah, it's a broad concept that's delivered from such a specific space.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, he talks a lot about his own issues with race. He is biracial. On the song "Take It Back," he actually has like the last 3 minutes where he's just telling his life story, basically, from the time he was born. He kind of like lays it all out, and I kind of take that as like the direction he kind of delivers this all from. It's like, I grew up, mixed race. My mom hated me because I was half black, but I was her son.
And he looks white.
Right. And then he's like, I'd go to school, and people would say I'm white, but I say I'm black, and I get it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like, I don't really understand what the purpose of taking such a broad angle was. Like you could speak to that experience, and it's very specific, and still like be successful in delivering a listenable album.
Yeah, and also I don't think his skits add much to it. That it's kind of weird,
Dude.
And it's also super freaking long.
Yeah, I was really worried. I thought every song was gonna have a skit in it after the first song, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be
and that's
really hard to listen."
The Incredible True Story had like you wouldn't even call them skits. It's so much like the outro of a song for 15 seconds kept that little narrative through line going, and it was cool. I liked it. It really set a vibe for the album.
Right.
But for this, it's just distracting. It kills. There's no like momentum or pacing for the album.
Yeah.
And the last song,
12 minutes long.
Africarian, which was the original title for the album, which I'm glad I changed it because that would have just been incendiary for an unnecessary reason given his intentions. Neil deGrasse Tyson's on it again, and then it has like a ghost J. Cole feature at the end, which like J. Cole these days is slow and doesn't add anything. And I was texting with my friends, I was like, Logic pulled a Cole on us. Like he just got mad preaching and didn't really do anything good on the album.
He started folding clothes, man. First of all, side note, his first album's called The Incredible True Story.
His first album's called Under Pressure. Second album's The Incredible True Story.
And is it ever acronym to TITS?
No, it's
Incredible True Story.
Incredible True. Yeah, that's the acronym.
Wow,
yeah.
Interesting. I need to listen to that album now. I think.
It's a fantastic album.
Yeah, I saw you tweeting about that when you were kind of giving some of your thoughts directly after listening. How you thought after that album, kind of like the sky's the limit for Logic, and he kind of hit a ceiling he didn't need to on this by kind of pigeonholing himself with the concept.
And one of the he has a song Killer Mike.
Yeah.
Except Killer Mike does an outro on the song.
Yeah, and
he's
not even rapping.
It's spoken word. There's a song called America with Black Thought from the Roots, Chuck D, and No ID.
Which sounds a lot like Fade.
That song also is kind of boring.
It is.
Which Black Thought is super, Chuck D is super spoken wordy again, and No ID, a legendary producer, is rapping at the end. What?
No
also,
ID.
He has Ansel Elgort doing some singing, which he's an actor. So and I'm like, this is just a half-bit Shawn Mendes right now.
Right.
Also, he's got a weird voice. Like it's unique at least. He only has like one single out though, so I don't know. That was a weird play as well.
I kind of thought all of the features on this were kind of strange in different ways.
I mean, like when I saw the Killer Mike song, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Because Logic, he never has his own flow, but he has a really good. He can adapt other flows. Like he's pulled a lot from Drake and Kendrick recently.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this will be an awesome song. Maybe him and Killer Mike go back and forth. And I was really disappointed. This song Ink Blot with Juicy J, which I thought Juicy J was kind of like I banged my head at that song a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's so disjointed because him and Lot, it doesn't make any sense. And my final takeaway is Black Spider-Man, which was the second song released with a video. Nice message. Until the end. The video didn't have this part. At the end, there's like a skit thing, or like the kid who dies, where he talks to Neil.
Adam.
Adam. He's talking about how, Spider-Man should be black, and Superman should be black, and all that stuff. And I'm like, that is the most tone-deaf thing ever, because whenever they make a new character like Black Iron Man or female Thor, specifically when it's a black character, black community gets mad. They don't want you to just make the white character black. They want their own original character new to be worth caring about, and they happen to be black.
Right.
That's why Black Panther's cool. So I think that is a really tone deaf thing, and I know it's simple. It's at the end of the album, but I was like, wow, that makes no sense. Like that's really contradictory.
It's definitely disappointing for an artist who I think has like a lot of, I don't want to say like underground love, because I think he's pretty popular at this point, but he's not as big as.
If Logic was around 10 years ago, he'd be a backpack rapper. He wouldn't have any fame, but now he's on Def Jam and with streaming, and he's got a lot of fans. But you're right, he could be bigger.
He could, and that. I can't knock his ambition though. Like I think it's a really, I like the direction he's going in, but he just needs to kind of hone it in a little bit.
The thing I'm interested in is he told Genius in a video that his next album will be his last, because he's kind of had this whole like through line with his albums, and he said he'll probably still be in the hip hop scene, of course, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how he concludes.
Next album will be his last?
His last album, because he'll be done making albums. He's like 27, I think.
So was he gonna just release playlists now, like Drake?
I think he might want to move into other stuff. and still be in hip hop, maybe features or tapes once in a while. But he puts a lot of thought and work in his albums, so maybe he'll be like, yeah, well, I'll be done making albums, the way he put it. So
Gotcha.
Interesting, at least for his future. I'm not down on Logic,
Right.
but I'm down on this album. Did really well in sales though, 225 to 240,000 right now.
That's not bad.
155, 166 traditional pure sales. So he is his biggest album yet. So good for him.
Yeah, that is good. I guess he is blowing up, even if this isn't his best effort.